Finally, Apple has decided to use USB-C on its new iPhone 15. Yes, finally. USB-C is pretty ubiquitous these days for charging and file transfer. But have you wondered how we got here in the first place? The story begins in the mid 1990s, and it all starts with this guy, Ajay Bhatt. While working as a computer architect for Intel in 1994, Bhatt had an idea to make low-cost plug-and-play interface for connecting peripheral devices to computers. At the time, connecting peripherals to computers was really, really difficult. There were serial and parallel ports, something like PS2 connectors. At the time, connecting peripherals to PCs was a real headache. There were some serial and parallel connectors like PS2 connectors, but there was no universal interface. USB was created simply to simplify and solve this problem. And in the year 1994, it was Intel, as was usually the case, took the lead on USB development. It was also joined hands by IBM, Microsoft, and NEC. This whole group is now called the USB Implementers Forum. After 2 years of research, USB 1 was released in the year 1996. It specified data rates up to 12 megabytes per second, faster than most of the serial and parallel ports at the time. It allowed peripherals to be connected without rebooting the system, which was a big deal back in those days. However, USB 1 did not see widespread adoption. It wasn't until the year 1998 in the new iMac that USB ports started appearing in consumer PCs. So the concept of USB is not all that new to Apple, really. But once it caught on, there was no looking back. In April of 2000, USB 2 was released. This updated specification bumped up the maximum bandwidth to 480 megabytes per second. This allowed USB 2 to handle high bandwidth peripherals like hard disks and webcams and printers. So between 2000 and 2008, USB 2 was a huge hit. But around 2008, USB 2 started to show its age, and the data rates capped at 480 megabytes per second were no longer cutting it for high resolution webcams, storage devices, and the emerging needs of video connectivity. This led to the development of USB 3, sometimes called as super speed USB. It increased maximum bandwidth to another 10 folds, up to 5 Gbps. USB 3 also tweaked various technical aspects like improved power efficiency and increased maximum bus power. 2008 till 2014 was the golden age of the USB 3. By 2014, the USB Implementers Forum felt it was time for a more radical rethink of USB capabilities. And then began the development of USB-C. After being in development for several years, USB-C finally was released in August 2014. The USB-C could also handle 20 volts and 5 amps of power delivery. Devices like Google's Chromebook and Apple's 2015 MacBook helped drive initial adoption. In the years, USB-C has truly proliferated. And now it's the standard for connecting phones, laptops, tablets, accessories, you name it.